Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new Halvanus video, and I'm sitting here with Torre in the Division. We just started doing the missions there last night. We've probably been playing together a collective 3.5 hours. I've got about 5 hours worth of experience in it right now, and from what we've had from the first couple of missions up until the point now that we're into the middle of New York City, where we're around Madison Square Garden. We're doing all the sort of things that are going through the map and all this stuff, so it's really cool. So I just wanted to give you guys my first impressions of this thing. The next video after this will probably be a going over the options that we have available in game, and as well as the options that are in the game before you start. Tor and I, like I said, we've been playing for probably about a collective 3.5 hours. We've done a whole bunch of missions together. Now playing solo, I have noticed that the game is just not. The game is meant for you to be in a fire team, or not a fire team, but the team, it's meant for you to be in a team. You're meant to go in and act like you're a SWAT team. You're meant to go in and try to bring some semblance of order to a broken, dying city, with as much violence as you can possibly have. The controls, while not fantastic, are probably up in line of one of the best third-person shooters I've ever played. Third-person shooters have never been my forte, but I have never not liked them either. I've always said that Destiny should have had a option in which you could play first-person or third-person. Having played third-person now, you get to see a lot more of your character. You get to see a lot more of just the things you can do. The ability to shoot people and right over the shoulder fire is pretty cool. There's a lot of. It's got its own quirks. It's got its own feel to this environment that it's in. It's a very gritty environment. It's very grindy. Again, where you're going to derive most of your enjoyment is you and a friend or a couple of friends are going to sit down in a team, and you guys are going to go plow through people, especially in the darkness zones. I haven't been to the darkness zones yet personally. When I go there and we actually see other people that will attack and or not attack us, there's going to be probably a change in pace there. You're probably going to notice that there's a lot more violence towards your character from other players, as well as violence in your party as well, because if someone's trying to do something and we're getting bombarded from the left with enemies and then the right with players, you're probably going to get a little agitated, especially at the players who are dying and the players who have actually initiated the combat towards you. That being said, I have no idea what the Darkness Zone is about, and you can see here that Tor and I, we kind of probably should have not gone in run and gun. We thought maybe that this NPC over here would actually heal us like we can do each other, and none of them actually worked like that, so that's a little unfortunate. I think if you're in a team of two and both of you go down, those NPCs should come over and give you a little helping hand, but of course maybe Ubisoft doesn't see it that way. And the death there at the end is kind of cool. And then we have the loading screens and stuff. Now, knock on wood, day one of launch, the servers were actually super stable, to be honest with you. I don't think that we were more than 20 minutes down trying to get it connected and play. And that's just simply because of the fact that there is a lot of people who are trying to get in. When we were walking through the zone to get to the next area, we were getting bombarded with people just coming towards us, and thank God that the mic feature isn't active or something, because I believe that they had a thing where the mic feature should be active, and there's a whole bunch of things to do with that. The other thing that we kind of did early on was, in the background now you can see it, we were actually in the missions as hard mode, because the regular missions, while a challenge, are not super challenging, so we kind of wanted to up the difficulty, hoping that the rewards would be a little bit better, and we were definitely surprised and given a hefty amount of rewards to do the completion of this hard mode mission. Another thing that it gives you a bonus towards is you go into the next sections very well armed, and the way they have the looting system set up is that you're going to have weapons that help you. You're going to have pieces of equipment that help you, but then you also have the light blue equipment, which is actually it's cosmetic gear, and it has its own little tab there. We'll actually go over all that stuff in the next video, but like I said, the first impressions of this is very well. You can actually customize the paint jobs on your guns. If you're part of the Ubisoft club, you can go on and get an exclusive spray paint to spray paint all your guns, which is kind of cool, and not really a pay-to-win thing. It's just, it's free as long as you're using the Uplay app. What I did see on the Uplay app, which concerns me, is that there are keys for the darkness zones, and I don't know if that's implying that the darkness zones have chests, or if you need keys to do a certain amount of content in there. That's beyond my understanding at the moment. The environment in the game, it's very complicated to say what I feel about the environment. On one case, you have the fact that what I'm doing right now is I can shoot holes in this LCD TV, and it will not fix itself to my knowledge. But at the same time, if we go outside and shoot a light that is up on a lamppost, it will instantly reignite itself as if no one shot it. And as you can kind of see, it sort of happens with the computers too, but you have to shoot it multiple times for it to stay away from going back on. And then, you have the cover system. It can be wonky at times. I don't believe there's a big issue with it right now. One of the only issues I think me and Tor actually come across was, I do believe that he would try to jump over cover, but instead of jumping over cover, it would jump and stand you on top of cover, which means that you're just a sitting duck waiting to get hit by a couple of enemies. So there's not too much there in that department that could be fixed. It's just that if we can not go up and stand on things when we're trying to jump over cover to get to a better cover spot, that would be really appreciated. As for going around and seeing what can be destroyed, that's something I've been doing. I've been going around shooting everything that I kind of come across, like vases and all that stuff. And most of the environment is destructible, but you have certain placements, especially when you go into the apartment buildings later on. The apartment buildings have a bunch of destroyable stuff, like canisters, water bottles, juice cartons, all that sort of stuff, teacups. and other kinds of things like that in households. But at the same time, you'll come across I don't know, like a plate that's sitting up on the cupboard. You shoot it, nothing happens. It acts like the bullet didn't even touch the plate, and it kind of acts like there's an invisible wall around it. So that is kind of immersion breaking, but at the same time, it's nothing that's huge in my gripes department. It's just kind of a mild inconvenience. One of the biggest things I've had to get used to was how to throw the grenades and such. You've got to do something on the D-pad, double tap the D-pad, and then use your trigger button to throw your grenade. And you got to kind of keep track of your grenades, because if you don't keep track of your grenades, you are going to end up trying to throw something that you don't have. And what that does is leaves you open for the enemy to attack you. Whether it's an NPC or whether it's another player, you're probably not going to want to stand out in the middle of nowhere doing things like that. And welcome back to that. I do apologize, I had to cut because there was a dog in my home deciding to yell and bark. But that being said, like I kind of iterated before there, most of that stuff is just a mild inconvenience in the game. It doesn't detract from the gameplay at all. It just kind of detracts from my overall personal taste to it. But that being said, I don't think this game is a bad game. I think it's a very well made game. There's just certain little quips that you have to get used to. Being able to use the D-pad more functionally is probably one of the big drawbacks to the game, but one of the things that kind of make it unique, because the D-pad is not overly utilized in other sort of games. Customization with the weapons is actually, it's simple, it's simplistic, but it does allow you to give yourself a little bit of an edge to making the weapons kind of personalized to yourself. As we can see there, I've got a machine gun that is outfitted with a scope. And that scope I can use as a sniper scope, which I currently have on my character right now attached to an MP9, I think. Or maybe it's an MP5, I can't remember. Now, I'm no good with the gun names, and I've never been one that knows all about the gun things, but we're here just playing around and stuff. Some of the things that you kind of find out when you start playing around and shooting different objects is that certain objects are immortal objects / immune objects. For example, in non-darkness zones, your player cannot harm your party members with attacks and such. The other kind of things that really are, it kind of gives you more of a want to do, is the fact that most things will reward you with a cosmetic appearance changing thing, which I thought was probably a good idea on their part, to kind of take the focus away from trying to shove the story down your throat and shove the way that you get gear down your throat. The gear kind of doesn't matter, especially if you're just going for the looks, because the looks are all just things that you pick up regularly within the world. So you don't have to go out and buy all of these cool looking DLC things, because odds are there's probably something that looks generally like it in the game already. So you can just go around and kind of find those things as you go and do missions. A lot of the bosses / fodder minions who you fight and kill in the kind of instanced off missions where you can change the difficulty for hard mode or easy mode, those areas will yield you quite a bit of cosmetic items, and it's it's usually not unwelcomed. But as we can see here, we just patched in this mission at the moment. This is kind of the other area in which you have safe houses and such. As far as the game's going right now, I'm enjoying it. Tor's enjoying it. I'm pretty sure that we're going to slog many hours into this. We don't know what the level cap is. I don't know what the level cap is. I don't know if the story is fully implemented or whether or not there's chunks of DLC that they're going to add later. But I do know that buying the season pass probably would be a good idea, considering that they've guaranteed 3 expansions to be released, and they're probably going to be added in the DLC as things that are covered if you buy the $50 DLC. That being said, will I buy it? Maybe. I'll also probably end up buying the packs with all the clothes in it, because it does look awesome to change your character up once in a while. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that this kind of gives you first impressions towards what the Division looks like and how the Division plays. And if it looks like it's a game that you might want to pick up, go ahead and pick it up. I'm sure by the time you watch this video, whether it's on the day one that it's put up on the YouTube channel, or whether or not it's a couple years into the future or a couple months into the future, maybe this game is at a discounted price. It's probably best for you to pick it up then. But yeah, definitely. Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.